Hi everyone, welcome to episode number 9 of AI Talks, the podcast that I would love to do as fast as I can because I built this technology around it that can go in a backpack with me. And when I go to new cities and I meet amazing people, I go and say hi to them. Hello,
Yeah.
Christian.
Hi there.
How are
Hi.
you?
Good.
Who are you and what do you do for the podcast users? I know you. You're a great person. You're an
Thank you.
n8n ambassador. Tell us more about yourself.
Yeah, so my name is Christian, or Chris, and I'm an n8n ambassador in Vienna. I'm an n8n user since 2019, late 2019 or early 2020. My first post on the community is from 2020 April, and it's been a really fun and interesting journey to play with n8n and to learn n8n. But I just noticed it ever since AI and the AI agents came to n8n, it kind of went wild and it exploded. Before that, it was kind of like me, hey, there's this cool tool n8n, you can automate some of your stuff and you don't have to code everything. And people were,
So just let's take a step back. You just said like, you've been using n8n since 2019.
Yeah.
That's like 6 years. It was like from the first year n8n was built.
As I said, it was either late 2019 or early 2020. I cannot really pinpoint it. I went the usual path, probably. It started with Zapier, went to Integromat, and then I heard about this thing I can host myself. And then I was, okay, I'm just gonna switch to that because I have all this infrastructure. And I love hosting my stuff.
And one thing I really like is he is so humble and he doesn't talk about the way I do. I have been coding for 23 years. He did it for 33 years. So maybe that was one of the reasons, like self-hosting, open source kind of like attracted you to n8n?
I was always a curious person in a way that I wanted to understand what's happening, what is it doing, even if it's stuff that's above the knowledge I have. So I started as a kid when I got my second computer. It was a 8086 with half a megabyte ROM. And one of the first things that I did was take it apart. And of course, I didn't know how to put it back, but there was no Google, there was nobody I could ask, so I have to try until I got the thing running again.
Can we look at that picture of this computer that you just mentioned? What is it called? 8086?
Yeah, PC XT.
Let's check it out. Let's go to one of the very few reasons I go to Google. So I want to see a picture. Otherwise, I usually go to ChatGPT. So which one is that? 8086?
Yeah, 8086.
Which company was it?
No, it was
PC?
just a random
computer 8086.
Yeah.
And I have a very relevant story to share. Why am I showing it? So that I first see the picture that you have. Yeah. And then, oh my God, this gives me so much nostalgic experiences. I cannot tell you how happy I am to see this picture. Look at that. This is the picture. This is the computer that you used to have, right?
Yeah, something like that.
Computer.
Yeah, like a black and white or a green and black screen.
Oh, nice.
And yeah.
I don't have the picture of 8086 that we had at home, but I have here this one. I had one. It's this picture that I always pull up.
Yeah.
This computer, like right here, is an 8086. And this is a Pentium 3.
Yeah.
You remember the Pentium times?
Yeah.
That was crazy times. So you had an 8086 at home.
Yeah.
In 1989-ish?
No, it was a bit later. I think it was something around.
And I think 86 was the year, right? That was the.
No, it was. They started with 8086. I think it was about the architecture. I don't remember.
See.
Then went 286, 486, then came the Pentium.
Exactly. And
so it was.
Pentium 1 was in early 90s, 89 that time, right?
It was 90s. It was in the 90s. It was already in something
crazy
like high school.
Times, man. Time flies. So sorry for hijacking your story of that. Yeah. Because I had this relevance and I wanted to show you my 8086. Yeah. At least a corner of its monitor.
Yeah. So I was always kind of curious, and then what happens, and just really also breaking things. But at least from the initial experience of breaking things, I learned how to, okay, how do I make sure if I break something, I can go back to the thing. And that kind of went through my whole IT learning path. Because at some point I had an email address at some internet provider here, and they had troubles with their email for 6 months. And then I said, this can't be too hard. I'm going to host my own mail server. And I had that thing, it looks similar like your computer you showed me. I had that in my bedroom. And that was then the mail server for me and my friends. Nice. And I had no clue what I was doing. So it kept breaking, I kept fixing. And then I learned step by step by step how this whole thing works. And
have you ever opened a monitor before? Because when we used to have this monitor, these two computers, we used to do the networking and open the monitor, the CRT monitors, cathode ray tube monitors. And one thing that I remember from the times when I was kind of doing hardware things with my computers is I got electrified so many times. Have you ever been electrified?
Yeah, I've been, but not from I didn't open monitors. Somehow that was not my thing. So computers, yeah, or other electronic parts. So for example, my parents had a restaurant, and every time the fuse would break at the microwave, they would call me to change the fuse, and I was, I don't know, 12 or 13.
Yeah.
Yeah, but monitors or TVs, for some reason, that didn't interest me. I didn't touch that. But computers, even my first laptop, I took it apart, put it back together, had a few extra screws after that, that I apparently forgot, but it was still working. And it then, and then continue with everything. And I remember one time having a backup copy of the game Lemmings. You know that game?
I don't know that, no.
Okay. But it was... it has a copy protection, so my backup didn't work. And
in which year is this now?
So this would have been in, I think, 96 or 97.
96.
So I opened assembler debugger.
Yeah.
And started going through step by step until I noticed that they're asking for the copy protection. And I didn't know any assembler. I just remembered the hex code for no operation. And I edited the file and added no operation where the jump was to the copy protection. And then I could play Lemmings. So it was...
I only did assembly language like for a little bit of a time. In 2008, I did an ethical hacking course, crash course for 21 days in India. And there my teacher taught us assembly language on how to kind of like do the cracking or kind of like jump over these files where the restriction of that file is. So you have done that in 1997?
Yeah, something around that time.
Nice, man, that's nice. So now the era of AI, for me personally, it was really fascinating when I saw this thick book. And I'm doing my master's in AI. It's a very later story that comes in my life. It's this thick book. I'm doing my diploma in IT, information technology. And I buy it, and then it has this big robotic face on it, and it says artificial intelligence. This is the first time I'm looking at this. It must be 2002 or something. Perhaps it was a lot of theory in that book. So what was your first moment when AI encountered into this? So this is an AI podcast, so we're going to shift gears a little bit more towards AI. So what was your first encounter with AI topic, and what fascinated the most?
So I've heard about machine learning, and but never really got into that part. And the first AI thing was really ChatGPT. But I was also pretty late. I didn't jump onto it right away. I was looking at it, how is it working, what is it doing, and then from there trying to see what I can use it, for. Because it's okay. It's fun to just throw a text and tell it, write me something in this style, and it's interesting and funny how it can find out or write some text. But that's not really all that useful. Mm-hmm. And then when it started that you can write your own I don't remember how it's called, your own agents in ChatGPT, and then call them from n8n and say, okay, this seems like something useful, so I can tell it, I can give it a prompt, and tell it to do something like extract data from my invoices.
And this is a time when you already have quite a lot of experience with n8n. So what sort of n8n use cases you had at the time when ChatGPT arrived?
The first one was really my inbound accounting, because I really hate doing the accounting stuff, and as self-employed, just hiring someone just for this boring task, either the people won't stick around or it just doesn't make sense because it's really just a boring, stupid work, taking some data from one place, putting it to another place, just to send it to accounting. So I initially coded a tool myself without AI. With the development, I kind of stick with Ruby on Rails for web tools.
Oh, nice.
And what I did is I used regular expressions to extract all the data.
Nice.
That's tedious to set up because I have to do it for every supplier. And at some point, the supplier might have said, okay, let's change the layout from the invoice, and then everything breaks. But it was helping me quite a lot. And then when I could do this with n8n and give ChatGPT JSON schema to how to extract the data.
And this is which year? When is it? 2023, perhaps.
I think something around that time, yeah.
And this is a good thing, like accounting, bookkeeping, everything around this moving information from one side to the other side falls in the low risk category of EU AI Act. So since we are living in Europe, starting something from low-hanging fruits of AI automation is best. And I think you have nailed it starting from there. So what are the use cases right now you're focusing on? What are you consulting other companies, and what kind of workflows are you building now?
So I'm currently I had two workflows that were kind of small, but they were quick wins for me, where we had a bit of a security incident because of a phishing campaign for a client, and I wanted to somehow be informed if somebody logged in from a malicious IP, and I could code something that parses the log files, but it would need so much time to do that. And after doing with n8n to just do the whole processing of the IP address, checking if it's a malicious IP address against VirusTotal, the whole workflow took just 5 minutes, and in those 5 minutes, Claude wrote the script that transports the log files to the n8n, and I could get alerts really instantly. It is a very small workflow. It's nothing really critical, but
and that's
these
the
small
beauty
things.
I think that's the beauty of n8n, that you have this weird, very ad hoc requirement that if you script it, if you write it with code, TypeScript, Python, whatever language you're using, it's going to take you at least a day to do it. With n8n, it takes you an hour, and you discover if that's not what you want within an hour. That's the most important and the most kind of like the aha moment when it captured my attention was this, that especially in the startups, even in big corporations, you tend to go in and have this hypothesis that, hey, look, this particular use case that we have in our organization should be done in this way. Whoever thinks about that way, that user experience, that pipeline, that data pipeline, that whatever it is, that requirement changes over time. Like you and I both have done software engineering for a very long time. Don't you agree that software projects fail because of bad requirement engineering?
Yes, definitely.
And because of n8n now it's going to succeed?
Yeah, I have a good example for this one. So I had from a client a requirement. It was a bit more complex, so n8n wouldn't be the right fit for the requirement because of the front-end requirements and these things. But the thing is, the requirement were just a few lines. And from that line, from those few lines, I wrote a bit more details what will happen. But still, from experience, people read only half of it or remember just parts of it. And then when you actually do the code and present them with a thing and they start working with it, they realize, oh, we didn't want that. And so in addition to just writing more details, I tell them, look, I'm going to create kind of a mock-up or proof of concept. You have to have a bit of imagination. The front end will be really ugly, but it's just for you to press the button, and the button will really do something. Will really do something that's going to be in the final version.
Right.
It might break here and there, but it's just a prototype. But then you can imagine...
The proof of concept. Basically, the proof of concept is the kind of like the toy that usually these big C-level people need in order to kind of like open their imagination to bringing that technology to that big organization. Tell us an experience that you had in this kind of a scenario. I will also talk about one of my experiences, especially in the light of AI and especially with the light of voice AI. Have you ever done anything voice AI related?
Just a quick experiment. I was approached by a friend and asked me about having a lot of calls, just asking basic data from insurance contracts, and it just takes a lot of time. And I said, I'll just give it
It can be anything from your experience. Like pick an example that you built something in n8n that really resonated. Let's talk about that. If it's allowed to talk about it publicly.
So, I mean, it's really this example where trying to reduce the time people are hanging on the phone. I mean, the people, they want to be there for their customers, but a lot of questions can just be answered by reading the contract, but people don't understand it or don't have time and they just call. And I just did a very, very simple and short setup in ElevenLabs where it passes the question to n8n webhook, and that returns the answer. And it would just go into the contract, look for the answer, return it back to ElevenLab, and you can just phone it. You can just phone a number.
Oh my God, what a nice use case. So it's basically a RAG, a voice agent on a contract, like literally a PDF contract.
Yes.
That's wonderful.
It's an insurance contract. There's really not much to it. I mean, or at least I find it very, very simplistic because you take the contract.
We're technical people, it's simple for us.
And it's just a few nodes where you vectorize it and you put it in there. And then the thing that took me the most is to pick the right model to get ElevenLabs to call the tool.
Yeah.
Because often ElevenLabs just did absolutely nothing. There was no call to my webhook, even with OpenAI models, which kind of surprised me. And then I ended up with an Anthropic model. And then I can really just call it, and it talks in German with not a too German accent, because that's another thing in Austria.
The ElevenLabs, did you try Chris on ElevenLabs?
No.
Chris. Let's try it out. For you guys, ElevenLabs is a Polish company that allows you to build voice AI agents, and I give this insane 9 hours long voice AI agent workshop, and I tried Chris there. Let's try it out. You speak German, I speak a little bit German, and let's see how this thing sounds like. And we'll come a little bit.
Just so I don't forget, one great thing about ElevenLabs is it offers you a SIP trunk. So if you
it offers you a SIP
trunk.
A SIP trunk.
Me coming from a voice over IP world, where I'm actually a phone provider in Austria, I have my own phone infrastructure, and I can just send the phone call. I assign in a number.
Phone redirections can happen between agent and humans.
It's not even a redirection. It's sent directly over IP to ElevenLabs.
Oh, nice. So binary streams come directly to ElevenLabs.
Exactly, yeah. The actual phone call. So I can call it from my phone number, and I land at ElevenLabs. So I don't need any interface, and there's no phone redirection. I don't need.
So the same phone numbers can be used.
The same customer phone numbers. You add a new extension, and you can send that one to ElevenLabs.
I'm so happy about this world evolving so much. Well, the reason I'm happy is because some of you guys might know I had this voice AI agent company. Just for your information, I was running this company called VoiceKit. I always talk about this because it's so dear and near to my heart. This was a voice AI agent. By show of hands, I usually do this in my workshop. By show of hands, who knows this picture? And I think your hand will go up again. Did I show you ever this thing before? Where is that? I think it's here. Yeah. Do you know this picture?
Of course I do. Kids, come on.
There's Knight Rider.
Yeah.
So I was building Knight Rider in 2023 and 2024 when ElevenLabs was just building. So when I see these advancements happening in this area, I kind of like really go all in. So let's try out this German voice. Where was it? I think we created one actually, or I can create a new one, blank one. Let's create this one. I think it is already somewhere. Let's make it German, so that we give our German audience some German context, and then we change it the voice to not Eric, Chris Beck, Edutainment.
Ey, was wartest du noch? Ich hab dir doch gesagt, dass das geht. Einfach auf den Abonnieren-Button drücken
look at that.
und schon geht's los.
Moment bitte. Okay, now let's give it a try.
Hello, how can I help you today?
You can talk.
Okay, but now it's English, I think.
Why is it in English? Kannst du auf Deutsch sprechen?
Ja, natürlich. Hallo, servus.
Ja, natürlich kann ich auf Deutsch
Okay.
sprechen. Wie kann ich Ihnen heute behilflich sein?
Du kannst ruhig du zu mir sagen.
Alles klar, dann duze ich dich gerne. Wie kann ich dir helfen?
Ich würde gerne einen Termin buchen.
Gerne. Um welchen Termin handelt es sich denn? Und für wann würdest du ihn gerne buchen?
Ich glaube, es ist langsam Zeit für Winterreifen und wenn ein Termin nächste Woche frei ist, würde ich den gerne buchen.
It's because of the background noise.
Verstehe. Du möchtest also einen Termin für den Reifenwechsel auf Winterreifen und gleichzeitig soll das Rattern im Lärm überprüft werden. Gibt
Okay.
es einen bestimmten Wochentag oder eine Uhrzeit, die dir nächste Woche am besten passen würde?
Nächste Woche am Mittwoch um 13 Uhr.
Alles klar. Ich habe den Termin für den Reifenwechsel auf Winterreifen und die Überprüfung des Ratterns für nächste Woche Mittwoch um 13 Uhr notiert. Passt das so für dich?
Ja, passt, danke.
Man, look at that! Look at that! This is exactly what's happening in the world right now. Like we are in the era of literally getting into the borders of not being able to even realize if this is real human on the other side or not. It's 6 months away, a year away,
Yeah.
even 2 years away, if you cannot tell apart if this is human or not. For us, for technical people, yes, maybe we could, or maybe we couldn't, but for normal people around the world, it's almost impossible to tell apart if this is real or not. So your use case of a RAG creating a voice line like this on a contract is great. Your friend must be super happy for this that you built for him.
It's not public yet because building the thing is easy, like a proof of concept thing. But then you have to start thinking about security implication.
Yes.
Who calls?
Yes.
How do you identify the caller?
Prompt
how do you
injection.
make sure, leaving prompt injection
Yeah.
aside, but you have to extract the authentication part outside of the AI. Either by sending some two-factor via SMS or other options to ensure that the right person is getting access to the contract. And then you have to think about separating the contracts in such a way with RAG that the AI doesn't have access
Right.
to the wrong contracts.
Exactly. Otherwise, it could speak over, like hallucinate and then speak over the other contracts. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is one thing that I see often, that the people are putting the security side in the prompt, but it doesn't work that way. And also the human in the loop part as a tool, and giving the agent the instruction to verify with the human before it does something dangerous, but that's in the prompt. So.
About this thing, exactly this thing, I would like to add something. I was hired by a client who wants to see what's the problem with this this voice AI agent that they have, and the voice AI agent sends this so-called OTP, one-time password, and they said, like, if you insist on tell me what's the OTP, the bot will tell you what's the OTP, and then you repeat back the OTP to the bot, and then it would let you go. You could kind of like jump over it. Somebody built it for them from like these online platforms, Fiverr, Upwork, or something. And the moment I saw this, I was like, does it not sound a bit like if the bot knows, if the voice AI agent knows the OTP, probably the OTP is sitting inside the prompt. Yeah. And then it was like literally no time when I spent like 1 hour and found out that the previous developer actually put the OTP inside the prompt, and literally it took me another hour to move it away from the prompt. There was one n8n workflow that I had to kind of like move, like do a traffic call, check the OTP, send back yes, no, it's correct or not.
Yeah.
And then the voice AI agent knew, and then spoke it back to the voice AI. So these tiny little things that software architects like you and I can figure out, a lot of so-called vibe coders don't, and they build these voice AI agents that do not work. But what was your experience with this kind of a situation? How did you solve it?
This was just a fun side project, like 15 minutes just to try it. It's not really a use case that's actually being used.
Yeah.
So I'm just often trying new things and just to learn the new things before I try to build something out of it.
Cool. Guys, let's try to give this podcast a little bit of another twist. We're gonna do next. We go and see some of your community posts. One of those that is 2020, and then we'll build something together. How about that? Let's do that.
Yeah.
So let's go first to your community post, which is let me quickly fix this camera a little bit so that you guys can see us in the center. I think that is. I did it the way around. So let me quickly fix it this way.
Yep.
All right. So.
More on this side.
So we are gonna do the following things. We're gonna build a little thing and also go and see your podcast. Maybe you can now sit here so that you can see my screen more clearly. So we're gonna first go to your n8n community post. If I find it like this, I probably should be able to.
No, probably I'm using some weird username.
Okay. So how can I find your
just let me check. Can I have two. I'm not sure which user I used. Can I?
Do you remember the topic? Maybe we can search the topic and then. There.
Yeah.
Crystal. And look at that. What are these metrics? I'm not so much into this. 94 posts created.
Yeah, I didn't.
That's a lot.
Lately, I didn't have a lot of time.
Where is that iconic?
That's 2021. So let's go more topics.
So 2021.
Yeah.
April 2021. This one?
Yeah.
This is the one that.
Oh no, it was 2021. Okay, I thought that post was 2020. But I think I saw.
So where's that screenshot? I saw a screenshot in Slack channel that you shared. Where's that?
Can you look at the post a bit more?
This the same post?
Yeah. More at the top where I think I have the work.
Here, this one. Oh my God, look at this, guys. Look at this. When I saw this, this is a screenshot in Slack. We have an internal n8n ambassador Slack. And when I saw this screenshot, I was like amazed. I remember checking this project because it's the same city mates and so on. I was keeping an eye on this project growing as it was growing. And I remember this grid, spatially this grid, because I was like trying a grid thing at the time, and I saw this grid, and I remember poking things around in the open source project. But damn! So at the time we had a RabbitMQ node, a Slack integration, the if node obviously.
Yeah.
Man, what was that? A curl output to JSON? So
yeah,
this was a code node, the early stages of code node, or what was it?
Yes, I had issues with the HTTP node because it didn't support a few things.
Okay.
So I modified the Docker image to add curl.
Okay.
And did a shell command with curl.
Okay.
Then I had to transform that to JSON.
Okay.
So I can pass it onto the ticket system.
Nice.
But I think there was even a second post somewhere where there was a bit more.
No.
But
So this is an iconic.
Oh yeah, here's the curl thing that I
This is an
modified there.
iconic post, man. I am so pleased to having this podcast with you because you're. Oh, look at that!
That was the one I was
is.
looking
Look
for,
at
yeah.
that! Look at that! Look at that!
Because it was again something that you got some stuff via ticket
Yes.
system that had to go to two different systems.
Yes.
And manually would mean to save the file, go to
Wow.
that system, log in, upload it, go to the second system. So and
Man, this is so cool. I cannot leave this podcast without some hands-on things in this. Let's build something.
yeah, sure.
What should I build? What should we build? You're more experienced in n8n than I am, so I will follow your lead. Let's pick
geez.
something. Let's pick something crazy and build it.
The things I'm using it more longer probably, but I wouldn't call myself more experienced. Probably is also a bit of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
So it's yeah. So I've just been using it a long time for automating things, but I've noticed that people that started later and having more time to it, building more crazier
Yes.
things. But sure, let's
build something with it. I don't know what. We'll open the canvas and then we'll build something. Could it be something?
You want to integrate some voice or just?
Voice is good. Voice is good. We can create something with voice. I like voice. Any use case in mind?
Just.
Hey, let's replicate this use case of your friend, but not with a RAG, but with a Google Docs. So a voice line,
Yeah.
reading a Google Doc, responding back to you.
Yeah.
Super
And-
simple. It could be done in 10-15 minutes. So.
And we could try, if you want, we could also try to hook up a phone number to that thing and then actually call it from the phone.
I have a phone number. We will do
Okay.
the phone number. So my phone is also here. So just to set up the stage and explain what are we going to do, because this has never been in this podcast before, we're going to do some actual hacking. And that actual hacking is going to happen now. We're going to build a voice line, a phone number that you can call. It is connected to one of the documents that you have. That document could be a contract of 200 pages. And you're driving, voice kit, Night Rider. You're driving, you don't have time, you're driving for 30 minutes, you want to review that contract, you paste them into that Google Docs, and actually we can open source this workflow. We can open source this whole thing that we're going to build.
Yeah, sure.
And then you drive and then you ask questions against that contract. So good, let's do that. So in order to keep this short, we're going to kind of be very fast and then keep building things. And then you can stop me anytime when we do things. So the first thing I think we're going to need is obviously an agent.
Yeah.
We can create the agent. Let's keep it as a blank agent. Let's call it
Contract agent.
Contract agent, yeah. Contract agent, so that we can be fast and then finish this podcast before any other time. Let's keep it in English so that I can talk to it, and then the prompt could be, you have access to my detailed contract. If user asks any question, use the attached tools and send the request to those tools and wait for the answer from the tool coming back and speak it back to the user. That's a very generic prompt. I don't want to kind of over-engineer my prompt. And variables and everything, that's fine. And here on the tools, let's add a new tool. So that is going to be a webhook tool, correct?
Yeah.
And we're going to call it, what would be the name of the tool?
n8n agent.
n8n agent, yeah. Use this tool in order to submit questions to this webhook so that the user can get the answer from. There we go. And this URL has to be a post request, and we're gonna decide what's the body in just a minute. Let's go and build our n8n workflow in here. What should I pick? Webhook URL.
Yeah.
Respond to webhook. Is that correct?
And the post method. Now we've got to go.
Oh yeah, indeed, yes. So that we can get the post method. I'm gonna already get the production URL and activate my thing. So that we can already check something, and then we can pen it, and then we can keep building the workflow here.
But if we'll call the webhook now, it will just return an error because the webhook is missing.
Oh,
the
indeed.
Respond to webhook is missing.
Respond to webhook is missing. So we can add a respond to webhook, so it literally gets it and then returns it. So this, if is done correctly should do the job. And we are gonna add some body parameters. One is extract the information from the user conversation for this question that the user asked based on the following fields. So we're gonna extract some fields from there. What would be the? I think we only need one field,
question,
right? Question,
yeah.
just question.
Just a question.
Just a question. And this is the question that the user asked for knowing about this contract. My English language. I'm not a native speaker, so it's okay.
Whatever
it is, then it says. Oh, indeed, the names can be.
Okay.
Yeah, let's go with the snake case. That's an easy one. Okay, so we added this. We added that. I think we can already try it out.
Yeah, and then we should see the request coming in.
Yeah, and let's try it.
Hello, how can I help you today?
I have a question about this contract that you have access to. Can you tell me what's the total amount of this contract?
I have submitted your question about the total amount of the contract. Please wait a moment while I retrieve the answer for you.
Wonderful. So that's done. I am going to end the call, and let's check this out. Perfect. We got the payload, so there's our question, and we're going to do some magic with this. So let's get it to this. What should we do?
The copy to editor is the best thing ever.
Absolutely, man. Like this copy, whatever engineer or product manager in n8n built this feature and the feature of like literally penning data.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Yes.
Thank you so much. They have thought about a lot of cool things in this. Like when you put these things, I put like 2 Lego pieces of my kids on my table. Literally when I have these meetings, I put these 2 Lego pieces on my table for my presentations, and I say, anything is like a Lego piece. Like these ones from my kids, like they come together, and then I open these workflows where I see that they come together as soon as you add a node.
Yeah.
And they kind of like fit together. German engineering, man. Okay, so we got the payload. We're not gonna send the request to the payload right away, and we're gonna retrieve some data from Google Sheets.
Yeah.
We said Google Sheets, so let's go and generate a fictitious contract. Can you please generate a super detailed, 20 pages long contract about a software development project for a mobile app using n8n and ElevenLabs, and it should be for a contract review with a voice line, and make sure that you go really detailed. Like give me a very detailed document and make it in a Microsoft Word format, and give me a download link. Make sure that it is at least 20 pages long. And cover all the details like the price structure, the team, the milestones, the technologies used. Use React Native, Supabase, n8n, TypeScript, as I mentioned, and anything else that you can think of. And the DevOps around it, put it on GCP, cloud infrastructure, and so on. Like, be super detailed with this contract. At least it should be 20 pages long, and make it in Microsoft Word format, and give me a download link. So let's get it that way. So otherwise, then it's a very huge one, and it will forever kind of like do the completion.
Yeah.
And we'll keep an eye on this one here, and we'll have a little chat on the side. Man,
since you mentioned the pinning data and the copy to editor,
yes,
that's another thing that I find so valuable in debugging thing compared to traditional just software development.
Yes.
Because a lot of things I can really code myself, but sometimes I'm just missing the data, and the amount of time I need to create this data to replicate the issue, it just takes so long. And then here I just have to look at the execution. I see exactly what data was in there. I can copy that data to the editor and then go around and fixing the issue, and I'm done in a few minutes.
Absolutely. And look at this. I did a post a couple of weeks ago about debugging. I met this guy, a random guy. He says, we don't use n8n in our company because it's so hard to debug. And then I was like,
I read it and I commented on that one because it's like, what?
And then I was like, and then I didn't really care about him so much, because I asked him like, what do you think, what have you built? This was my question. What have you built with n8n before? I didn't want to be disrespectful to him. I just want to understand his perspective. And he said, well, I have never used an n8n before, but the subordinate of mine said it's so bad with debugging, so we never used it. And I silently went on, and I didn't offend them too much. And then the same day, I am trying to debug something, and I am this guy coming from really low-code TypeScript, written JavaScript for 17 years, TypeScript for 10 years, full-stack engineer, doing debugging for food, for a bowl of rice. And it clicked me. And then I say, like, fuck, this is so easy. Debugging is so easy in n8n as compared to the other technologies. And then I immediately wrote that post, and it went viral.
Also, you can add values in your execution that then you can filter in the execution run if you have multiple executions, and then you can filter by some value that was inside. Yes. And this is also so valuable to see or to get the data. So I really don't understand how somebody can claim it's hard to debug.
I don't understand this as well. Like one thing I understand is like when let's take a step back. When it was, let's go in a parallel universe where there is no n8n born in 2019. And it's 2025, and you and I, senior engineers, come together, and we try to build something. How are we going to talk? We're going to jump on a whiteboard and diagram.
Yeah.
And there is no n8n, okay? There's an LLM with multimodality. It has a camera attached to it. Aren't we going to take a picture of that whiteboard and tell the LLM, can you please build the software? Isn't that what n8n is?
Yeah, kind of.
So let's see.
At the beginning, some people might think, okay, let's do a proof of concept or something, like you said, diagram it in n8n, and then later build a coded product. But then you realize at the end, actually, this is so production ready. We don't really need to make custom code out of it.
It is so much production ready. Like the enterprise feature of this is absolutely production ready. Whoever says n8n is not production ready, they're just hallucinating. Human hallucination. All right, so we got our contract ready. Ooh, what are these?
What is
it
right in here?
Citations or something. Yeah? Or maybe my copy didn't work. Whatever it is, maybe.
Oh, the milestones.
Oh, the milestones.
Item 1.
But why is it repeating? It's an LLM fuck up that it happened. I'll just remove the other page. That's okay. It's 13 pages. Oh, it's 4 pages.
It's gonna fill the rest of the data with.
No, it's fine. We can. It's also not properly sized. So 6 pages. Let's go with the 6 pages. We don't need to really worry about that master service agreement and whatever it is, mobile app project. So now we are gonna, just to make sure that we don't go super big with this. So we're gonna add the Google Docs. We're gonna get a document. This is the beauty of it. It's so fast, and you can do things so fast like this. You just literally
Command-Shift-C from the browser to copy the whole link, if that's
Command-Shift-C?
Yeah.
Oh, you're also an Arc user.
No, I gave up on Arc, but I loved it. So I switched to Zen browser, which is a Firefox that are rebuilding the
same
feature.
kind of like full screen.
They're rebuilding the features from Arc, but on Firefox, and it's open source because Arc was kind of abandoned, unfortunately.
Wonderful. So here we go. We got all the content here. Is this all the 22 pages? It's not. It's trimmed, isn't it?
No, it shouldn't be trimmed, but I think it was only 4 pages, right?
Was it the last sentences in this document? Yeah, it's the last sentence. So it got everything. But what we are doing here is kind of like putting the architecture in a way that even if it's 100 pages, it's going to fetch into the context window. We're not going to put this into a rack because even if we use Gemini, it's 1 million tokens and it has 3,000 plus A4 pages context window size. So we don't need to really do that. Although it's going to be a little bit cost inefficient, but it's okay. So we have the question, we have the document. What are we going to do next, Christian?
So we need an AI agent.
Exactly, the most famous AI agent node.
That gets all this data.
Let's get that thing in here. So we need an OpenAI model. I will go with 4.1 mini. That's fine.
Yeah, sure.
It will work. what do we need? We don't need the memory. Should we not give the memory so that we can send
It
a
could
memory
make sense
ID?
because we can
Then follow-up questions.
Follow-up questions, yeah.
That's a good idea. So let's give it a memory ID. We'll set the memory ID in a minute because we have not sent. This is another feature I love about this.
Editing, of course.
So look at this. I know I'm gonna send another key here, but I can art code it here so that I don't need to I'm gonna go session ID and give it ABC123 just for now.
Yep.
We're gonna art code it from that side as well, just to not over-engineer it. And okay, and then it's gonna return. What it's gonna return? I think.
So first of all, we need to change the prompt to put in
yes. So let's change the prompt to define below. It's gonna be the question that's coming in. So let's give it a system prompt first.
Yeah.
You have access to a document, and you're going to answer the user question based on the document. Following is all the document details. It's a contract that you need to know. Okay, so we're gonna prompt it. I think the contract needs to go in the system prompt, right?
Because no, I would not do that.
In
I
the
would
user,
put that in the user prompt.
Because the user question goes in the user prompt because
so it's kind of, I also see it kind of a separation because everything that
the
is
system prompt
user generated
the user, exactly, makes sense. You're
should go
right,
in the user prompt. It doesn't mean you cannot do prompt injection, but if you put in the system prompt, it will make things even worse.
The personality of the bot can change. So the contract details, how would you do it? Would you put the contract details first or the question first?
I actually don't know. I would probably put the question first and then
exactly, me too, because then it is weighted and then it can search for the answer internally. So I'm going to put the
maybe also because
now.
we're thinking kind of like humans. So I've got a question about the contract.
Where is the contract?
Question.
Exactly.
Here's the contract. Can you please?
So that's
me?
that. Now the answer is going to be generic. It's not going to work in this case because the answer is going to. Okay, what is it? The simple memory is looking for this.
Oh yeah, I forgot to add in the ID.
Okay. So now it's not going to work. This answer is not going to work going back to n8n. Sorry, going back to the, or as they might have changed it. Did they change the?
What do you mean?
We have to send an object, a proper object for the bot to speak on the other side.
Oh, okay, okay.
That has to be an object.
I don't remember what I...
Let's do this one more very important note. You have to make sure that you generate the response in a very easily pronounceable text by a text-to-speech engine. So don't use /n, don't use any character signs. Make it fluent so that any voice, text-to-voice engine or TTS engine should be able to speak it out without any hiccups. It's a very important piece of prompt that we need to put in these voice AI agents. And I have another one that I already have this procurement. Where was it? This is something to do with procurement AI agent, voice AI agent for procurement, that we sent back some information.
The structured data.
Yeah, brand name Apple.
Okay.
No, where is that? It's, I think, when it checks here. When it checks the price and then it gives the price back in this order.
But if you have to return an object, you can also use the structured
I
data
think
parser.
Changed. Yeah.
And usually when I use the structured data parser, I use a JSON schema instead of an example.
I think they modified it. In my course, I have this very detailed 60 lecture long course about n8n and voice AI agents using,
Hi, my name is
using this one. 60 lecture, 57 lectures. Still, I have to record a few more lectures. In there, at the time they had, let's try it out. I think they changed it. They changed it. n8n, I mean, ElevenLabs guys changed it in a way that now they accept anything. So let's go and check it out. I think this should have worked.
Yeah, it did
Yeah.
respond.
It did respond, and the response was, let's see if the response now has no slashes and everything, and it's easily pronounceable. It still has the /n.
But there's a new line character, so that shouldn't really matter when it passes it
Yeah,
to
when it
JSON.
parses, then the other guy, I don't know, on the other side if receives it. No, let's give it a try. Since it's live, everything should just work off the shelf. So let's go to our voice AI agent. Where is it? Here. And let's give it a try.
Hello, how can I help you today?
Can you please find out what is the duration of this contract that you have access to?
The duration of this contract starts on November 5th, 2025, and continues until all statements of work are completed, unless terminated earlier. The course scope is expected to take about 16 to 22 weeks. Either party can terminate the contract with 30 days notice.
Can you see what technologies are used there? There we go. Are you still there?
The contract. Yes, still here. How can I help you further?
Yeah, read out what you got about the previous question.
The technologies used in this contract are quite extensive. For the mobile application, it leverages React Native version 0.76 Plus with TypeScript version 5.x, a feature-sliced architecture, and ESLint for code quality. Backend services are built with Supabase, utilizing managed Postgres.
I think we don't need to really talk.
Yeah.
It's crazy. My God, what? We have just built a software while having fun and having a podcast.
Yeah.
Man, the software engineering is changing. The world is changing.
The engineering itself, I would say not. The software coding
The implementation
itself.
of it.
Yeah. Because you still have to think about all these things, and that's something that kind of gets lost in the vibe coding thing.
Wow.
But
Wow.
it is amazing because just thinking earlier, I don't know, a few months back or even a year back, just getting this voice data somehow to the AI agent, the lag would be so large if you just do it on yourself. But here with ElevenLabs, it was quite a big document, and the response is actually so fast that it is acceptable.
ASR LLM TTS. When I built voice kits, our latency was 9 seconds in the day one, because at the time there was no streaming on ChatGPT, and even there was no function calling. We used to write regular expressions in order to extract JSON. Did you do that?
Yeah. I did a lot of regular expressions. Yeah.
So this right now, guys, look at this. This right now, what you see on the screen, is going to be the future of how software is built. Some closing thoughts on this. As I was mentioning, 2 senior software engineers sat together, try to build a software. They're not going to open a code editor. They're going to take a napkin, take a pen, and start diagramming things. Say that, okay, this is your Google Doc. You're going to send an API to here, and then write an API on the top, and so on. And I think this is the future of that. This diagramming thing, and especially 1.1 million lines of code, 1.1 million lines of TypeScript code, stacked on the top of each other, over 14,000 pull requests on GitHub, hundreds of people involved, 6 years. This is a piece of engineering nobody can replicate, no matter how much budget they have. Agent Kit, Agent Builder, Agent Kit, or Lendy, or Relevance, or Make.com, or Zapier, whatever comes in, not having this open source / fair code attribute with it, it is just not apple-to-apple comparison. What do you think about that?
Especially about AgentKit. I mean, I kind of recorded a rant about the whole AgentKit thing. Not about AgentKit itself, but it was barely a few hours out, and then you had all these posts. This is the n8n killer. Sorry, that's bullshit. Because,
exactly.
AgentKit is absolutely nothing without AI.
Yes.
And n8n is so much even without AI.
Yes.
Of course you can use AI, of course it's simple to do it, but you don't have to. And why would I just burn money and tokens on just moving data from one side to another, for example, as a very simple workflow? And then you have the whole community thing and the whole open source thing. Because if you look at the what Google announces a product and a few years later, it just throws it away. And then if it's gone, it's dead.
Absolutely, absolutely, man. I wish we had unlimited time, and I wish we could build more for you guys to learn. And I wish we would not have an n8n official starter session workshop starting later today. It was really amazing. I really enjoyed this podcast with you.
Me too, yeah.
Thank you so much, Cristian.
Thank you for the opportunity, yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks.
See you next time.
See you next time, yeah.
And bye-bye, everyone.
Bye.